deep inside, we know we want to celebrate. But first things first, we need to move through that which we're experiencing, because it's been a very trying week for most of us here. And I want to say trying, because we all tried in the moment that we were to embrace what was occurring. And we did great. Because we're all surrounded by angels. We all stay connected with an inner knowing. We all stay in the light of the moment so that we can move through to that next one where we can celebrate and release our own personal judgments that we have in the moment of what's occurring. So this week we are going to double pray again. Maybe even triple pray again. Or quadruple praying before we start the service. Because sometimes we need to just let it go. And be in that moment. So, if you have not received all your announcements that have been shooting through the email and blowing up your phones, change has happened. Change has happened. But we infuse that knowing and that happening with the love that we are. So today, Donna's going to start us off with the first prayer that accompanies the announcement she made via email. And if you do not know, we've had two in our family that or make their transitions. I don't like the word die. I like this phrase, moved on, checked out. But my favorite one is made a transition, because it really is a period of change. They've stepped out from behind that veil, or the material side of the veil, and re-entered to that ether side, or that holy place on the other side, that they have set up for themselves. By their agreement, by their connection to all that surrounds them. It's a place of beauty. But it's a place that we can still affect and be affected by through our feelings and our emotions. Reverend Donna.
is in all the universe. God, the good. We bless you. And we are blessed to have known you. And we will carry that blessing with us all the rest of our lives. And so it is, Lord. So it is. And our sister Barbara Miller, who has been with us many, many years, and has not been back since we have reopened. That's Easter. But she has been supported most recently in the last several months by her son Howard, who's come to stay with her. And yesterday, was yesterday? No, Howard.
Howard was yesterday.
Howard was yesterday. Wayne was Thursday. Yeah. Yeah. So yesterday, Howard made his transition. And he's had some health issues that he was dealing with. And, you know, his love for his mom to come here and stay with her in her years, these advanced years, was such a beautiful thing. And I know he's talked to Tim many times about what's been going on with Barbara and both of them, and how we might help, or what they might need. So we just want to bless Howard for the service that he has given to his mom. We want to bless Barbara in her loss, and know that it's all good. Howard too is moving on his next step on his spiritual path. And Barbara is too. Barbara is too. Because now we need to determine how to best support her at this point in her life. So we hold this same prayer, this prayer of light, of wholeness, of oneness, for Howard, for Barbara, and for all of us. Just see and feel yourself surrounded and filled with the light and love of God. All is truly well. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Very moving. But you know what? I've got to talk to both of them. So this is not how they want us to move. They want us to move in the direction of some good and some joy. And we can't wait until Eva speaks next week about joy. But we can pray in another mindset for today and carry on and celebrate the divine energy in each and every one of us that's feminine today. We can still honor that healing nature of us and still honor ourselves and their wishes to carry on in the way that we know we are the Christ essence. So let's bring a little bit of back joy. This is my symbol of motherly love. Get up Tuesday with all the world going on, a little bit crazy, feeling a little bit off balance. And I said, oh, blank, because you know I'm Tim the swear chaplain, not Tim the prayer chaplain, Sundays. I don't have a chaplain for Sunday. And she goes, I told you, whenever you need something, I'm here. True mother. Reverend Pat.
so today we also celebrate Mother's Day. Sweet Spirit. This day we give thanks for all mothers, all those who have gave us their love, those who birthed and those who chose to mother with compassion and understanding. And as the beautiful spring flowers continue to bloom, teaching us of change and beauty, we give thanks for everyone who sees beauty in us when we forget. All those who remind us of our connection to your eternal, unconditional love. So be it. Amen.
For the beauty of the earth, for the glory of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the beauty of each hour of the day and of the night, hill and vale and tree and flower, sun and moon and stars aside. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of each and I, for the heart and mind's delight, for the mystic harmony, linking sense to sound and sight. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of human love, for brother, sister, parent, child, love and praise all things above, gentle, peaceful, calm and mild. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise.
And let us say the prayer for our children. We love you, we bless you, we truly appreciate you, just the way you are, and we behold the Christ in you. Thank you. Good morning. I'm Reverend Eva McGinnis, and on behalf of Unity in the Olympics, located in Port Angeles, Washington, I welcome you to this Sunday celebration service. Welcome home, everyone. Thank you, Reverend Donna, for that beautiful prayer. It really touched my heart. You captured the essence and the beauty of Dwayne and of our sister and her son. And I want to acknowledge the very special Mother's Day greetings and love to all the mothers and to the divine feminine in each of us, and all to whom Mother's Day is a difficult day. I remember the years when I was trying to become a mother and how difficult it was to see the celebration of Mother's Day. I was blessed to become a mother, but it was a trying time. So I want us to send out love to all of those mothers who are having a difficult time, whether because they cannot have a child, or their child has passed, or there is something in them that is longing to be experiencing motherhood. And to all the men who have taken on the roles of mother and have also experienced the love, the sharing, the incredible power of giving to another child. So, happy Mother's Day to the divine feminine in everyone. For those of you joining us from home or watching the celebration at a later time, thank you for joining us. You are, as we are, always in the right place at the right time, strategically placed by the grand divine. So, to begin today's celebration with a moment of silence, in this silence, let us individually and non-verbally affirm our faith as we say in our minds and our hearts that which appears on the screen. Now let us recite together our declaration of faith, the fundamental principle of the unity movement, as well as unity in the Olympics. There is only one power and one presence in the universe and in my heart, God the good, omnipotent. Let us say it one more time with very, very heartfelt energy of the divine feminine aspect of God flowing through us. There is only one power and one presence in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. Now we will take time for the Daily Word. The Daily Word is a bi-monthly publication of Unity. The first Daily Word was published in July of 1924. That's the year of my mother's birth. The magazine includes articles, affirmations, scripture, poetry, and daily prayer messages, inspiring people of all faiths to live healthy, prosperous, and meaningful lives. Here's Pat to tell us and read to us the Daily Word.
Daily word for today is motherly love. I give thanks for motherly love. God's perfect love, expressing through my mother, gave me life. God's love, wisdom, and strength guided her and all those who nurtured me as I grew. My words of praise and gratitude let me show my mother how much I appreciate her. When I wish to demonstrate my appreciation for my mother's example, I share the nurturing, motherly love of God in my words and actions with all people. Remembering the times when my mother or another compassionate person listened patiently and shared encouraging words. I seek to be a caring, supporting presence, recalling my mother's joy each time I learn something new. I share my skills and knowledge willingly when someone seeks my help. In gratitude, I share the gift of nurturing love. And from Isaiah 66:13, as the mother comforts her child, so I will comfort you. And once again, the affirmation, I give
Thanks for motherly love. And let's affirm motherly love as a community. We give thanks for motherly love. Let's say it again. We give thanks for motherly love. In whatever form motherly love takes.
When upon life's billows you seem tempest-tossed, when you feel discouraged, thinking all is lost, count your many blessings, name them one by one, and you will disperse what the Lord has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God has done. When your life seems empty, it is so untrue. There's a mighty presence making all things new. Miracles take place wherever you may be, proving that God's love is working constantly. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God has done.
Fantastic. Many blessings. And one of our many, many blessings is Terry Barrett herself. We really, really appreciate your many talents and blessings, bringing them to us. Thank you so much. And you are our speaker today, speaking to honoring our mothers. Mother's Day is a celebration to honor mothers, and as I said, the divine feminine and all. How can we? How do we do this in a time of uncertainty in our world, Terry asks. Terry explores the certainty of God's love through the relationships that we have with our mothers, and then takes a look at how to honor our mothers from the legacy of spiritual perspective and principle. Terry comes with the love of spiritual awareness and connection. She is the mother of 5, including a young man who is developmentally differently abled. Terry completed her master's degree in Divinity from Marylhurst University and continues her journey in ministry. She has received many rich training experiences in social and emotional learning, as well as completing her degree. She is getting acquainted with unity in the Olympics and enjoying the process, and so are we. Please welcome today's celebrant, Terry Barrett.
Well, good morning, everyone. Just like being a mother always is, this day is filled with all different kinds of emotions, isn't it? So, I have worked on what I wanted to say this morning, and it kind of went a little heavy, and I thought, That's not what we're going to do today. So I have something kind of fun to start today off with. This is Why God Made Moms. Second graders answer questions about the women in their lives. Why did God make mothers? She's the only one who knows where the Scotch tape is. Mostly to clean the house. To help us out of there when we were getting born. How did God make mothers? He used dirt just like the rest of us. And another one said magic plus superpowers and a lot of stirring. And one more said, God made my mom just the same like he made me. He just used bigger parts. So there's a couple others here that I want to share with you. What kind of little girl was your mom? One child said, I don't know because I wasn't there, but my guess would be pretty bossy. Of course, she's only seeing one aspect of that mom. What's the difference between moms and dads? Moms know how to talk to teachers without scaring them. Dads are taller and stronger, but moms have all the real power because that's who you go to if you have to ask to go to a sleepover with your friends. And moms have magic. They make you feel better without medicine. So that's a pretty nice, light way to start that. There's several of these, but how much fun is that? So there's lots of things to think about with being a mom. There's things that Jesus said in the Bible, different verses about being a mom, and how he honored his own mother, and how he was present in the moment to that love for his own mother in different situations. But I also want to I looked up the word honor. Let's spend just a moment with that word, because, women, some honor. Coming from that honor shame that I learned about in my master's degree that, Jesus grew up in, that type of society. Honor is to regard with great respect. And similar to that would be to hold in great respect, hold in high esteem, have a high regard for, esteem, respect, admire. Take this all in. This is how we're honoring our mothers. And I know in this group, it's already here. We value, we prize, cherish, reverence, revere, all these wonderful things. So, I've learned to honor my mother, and that means to understand her for who she was, perfect or who she is. I just came from her house early this morning and drove home so I could see her before Mother's Day. And our relationship has grown over the years because I've learned to just accept her for who she is, and how much good there is when you can see somebody from that light. When you're looking for the good in somebody, you'll always find it. So I thought, one way we can look at this, unity is set up so well. And I heard Michael Beckwith say there's only really one talk you can have. It's always the same talk. Today we're going to focus that talk on mothers, and we're going to use the principles, the unity principles. So there's only one power and one presence in the universe. That presence is God. And I'm there right now with that presence. We all are. And we're this expression of that loving presence. And there isn't a male God and a female God. There's a whole, healthy, beautiful expression, living expression of God that we get to express here and now. And so one of the things that has really struck me that I'd read about in the past, some archetypes. You look at the feminine or the empress, the masculine or the emperor, and one without the other isn't complete and isn't healthy and whole. The emperor without the empress becomes rigid and greedy and not in a really healthy, loving, full expression of life and community. And I think we've seen some of that expression. And what does the feminine bring into that we all have within us, male and feminine and masculine? It brings back to that balance, that whole healthy expression that God is. So we can continually find that, and it's always been there for everyone, always, and always will be. So when we look at that, there's so many ways to come back to that first principle that shows up, and it's so easy just to kind of say those words, but to really think of the life that's there with that, that's expressed in everything, is so real. I have looked at Louise Hay's things so many times. I've watched the video that she does and the interviews, and you know, she just has this simple way, because for decades she did the work to learn this. And she was a young child who was put in an orphanage, not because her parents had died, but because it was during the Depression, and not all people could raise their kids. Even Wayne Dyer was put in an orphanage for some time because things were so hard. And you know, in our day and age, we're not having to experience quite the same kind of hardship, although we're having some hardship also. But she went through extreme hardships as a child and was out on her own at 15 years old. And so over the next several decades, she came to learn how to show up. Then when she'd done all this work and she found she was given the diagnosis of cancer, it kind of shook her. So then she put to the test what she had been working on all those years. And she did the work of forgiveness of all the people along the way that had caused hardship in her life. And she went back and thought of them, learned about them, thought of them as little children and the things that they had gone through and the forgiveness that allowed her. And you know, after looking at her work, I was able to use it from that expression, because we're always helping each other, right? We're always helping each other understand in a different way. Everything that we say and do is contributing to someone else. And that loving, nurturing expression sometimes fills a spot that changes somebody's world. So through that, my relationship with my mother has become so much better, because I've let go of all the old stuff that I could hold against her, you know? And now the reward is I get to enjoy my mom. We have a lot of good times together. And she's actually on kidney dialysis, and she's able to do it at home. And I'm just so grateful. She's staying healthy, and I still get to spend so much time with her. So that's been wonderful. So another one of our principles is that we're co-creators. And how do we co-create? You know, God's energy is, creation is everything. Everywhere you look is God creating. Not created, not done and over with, in the process of, still in the process. And we're part of that process. So when we are putting our thoughts and our feelings into expression, we're co-creating with that power of God. We get to choose how we put that out there too. And that's one of the important things I'm thinking of too at this Mother's Day, is that nurturing community, loving support that mothers bring, that the mothering energy brings, that unconditional love. I got this sweater new, and I just thought, this is such a soft sweater, and I wanted to wear it today because this is the kind of soft shoulder I want to have for someone to lay their head on and let me comfort them. And so, you know, these are the kinds of expressions that we can do. And maybe they seem simple or not so important, and yet they make such a difference. And it's all part of the whole picture. So one of the things I thought of as I was thinking about co-creating is the story I've shared with you about when I worked in the salon in Vancouver. I was licensed in Vancouver and living in Portland, so I would drive about 15 minutes across the Glen Jackson Bridge and work in the salon there in northeast Vancouver, and then go back home across the bridge. And that one evening in March was one of those beautiful evenings where it was just so good, and I was so filled with spirit. I was reading and learning and sharing, and I just remember crossing that bridge and saying, God, I'm just so willing. I'm willing to be willing. No limits, anything. Well, that was co-creating. And I didn't think about that being this, going with this so much, but 4 weeks later I found out I was pregnant and having this little boy that's differently abled, not planning to have any more children, already up to my eyeballs with things to deal with and take care of. But here he came. And I had him at home, so I didn't have a diagnosis ahead of time. I had 2 days to completely fall in love with him before I had a diagnosis. And let me tell you, once that mother's heart has connected and engaged, there is no going back. And it just has been this wonderful experience. So I want to share with you something that was going on at the time. I've done a lot of work around disabilities, and when I was in Oregon, I worked with the parent-to-parent program for a while. Lots of attempts to really get a program going there, and that's a program where parents who have children with disabilities, once they've kind of gotten through their own experience of it and have kind of got their feet back under them and they're doing okay, end up mentoring another parent who's going through it or who has just gotten a diagnosis. And there's nothing more powerful than that connection that you will make it through this. There is light at the end of this tunnel. Things are going to be okay. And at the time that my son was born, one of the stories that was out, I found this the other day in the Chicken Soup for a Mother's Soul, because you know there's so many editions about ongoing. This is called Welcome to Holland, and it's been around, and many of you may have heard it before. I'm just going to read it to you, because this was one that was challenging for me at that time. I am often asked to describe the experience of raising a child with a disability, to try to help people who have not shared that unique experience to understand it, to imagine it, how it would feel. It's like this. When you're going to have a baby, it's like planning a fabulous trip to Italy. You buy a bunch of guidebooks and make wonderful plans. The Colosseum, the Michelangelo David, the gondolas in Venice. You may learn some handy phrases in Italian. I want to say ciao. It's all very exciting. After months of eager anticipation, the day finally arrives. You pack your bags and off you go. Several hours later, the plane lands. The stewardess comes in and says, shows you how dated this is, these are now flight attendants, not stewardess, come in and says, "Welcome to Holland." Holland, you say? What do you mean Holland? I signed up for Italy. I'm supposed to be in Italy. All my life I've dreamed of going to Italy. But there's been a change in the flight plan. They've landed in Holland, and there you must stay. The important thing is that they haven't taken you to a horrible, disgusting, filthy place full of pestilence, famine, and disease. It's just a different place. So you must go out and buy new guidebooks, and you must learn a whole new language, lots of acronyms, and you will meet a whole new group of people you would never have met. It's just a different place. It's slower paced than Italy, less flashy than Italy, but after you've been there for a while, you catch your breath, you look around, and you begin to notice that Holland has windmills. Holland has tulips. And Holland even has Rembrandts. But everyone you know is busy coming and going from Italy. And they're all bragging about what a wonderful time they had. And for the rest of your life, you will say, yes, that's where I was supposed to go. That's what I had planned. And the pain of that will never, ever, ever go away. Because the loss of that dream is a very, very significant loss. But if you spend your life mourning the fact that you didn't get to Italy, you'll never enjoy all the things that were in Holland. You'll never be free to enjoy the very special, the very lovely things about Holland. Now, I heard that story. It's kind of encouraging, isn't it? Kind of inspirational. But it felt limited. Like somehow I got stuck on the other side and I'm left out a little bit. And why can't I take my child with different abilities to Italy? But I have to say that I just started out with the attitude, once I had that support from God, when I said, okay, show me how to get my strength back, it was like, okay, I am not going to stay in that place anymore. And so Nicholas and I have co-created a great life. And when we came up here, he was elected homecoming king. He was given wonderful opportunities to shine, and he loved it. And now he's having the chance through that to help others that don't necessarily have a voice to stand up for themselves as well. And just Thursday night, I'm on the Developmental Disabilities Advisory Committee in Clallam County, commonly known as the DDAC. And I knew they were putting a presentation together for Nicholas, but I didn't know it was going to be on this committee. And here I am struggling with my internet to get on, and there's that presentation about Nicholas. the great job he has, the new car he's gotten, this bicycle car that we've gotten for him, and how well things are going. I mean, his job has expanded into new things that he's learned and new abilities. And it never ceases to amaze me how he's not limited. And you know, I've really come to understand that maybe that's what I was doing that day. Maybe we had a little pact that he was going to come into my life, and I was getting ready for that. And I was opening the door and saying, okay. But it's been a great experience, and I have learned so much from him. And the biggest thing I've learned is we all come in the package we're meant to be here in. And that's how we show up in the world and do the good we're going to do. There's something about him that brings out the best in people, I've noticed. At the high school, kids loved him. These kids that got in trouble loved Nicholas, and they would, you know, bend over backwards to do nice things and be a friend to him. So it's just been an ongoing, eye-opening experience. But I've also had other experiences around mothering. I had 2 older children when I remarried, and then we had these 3 that Nicholas was the surprise of. But my oldest daughter, Christy, always wanted to be a mother. She had 3 children. And when my granddaughter, who we just celebrated last Saturday, her 21st birthday, when she was 15, my daughter passed away here and made her transition here in Port Angeles. And it was such a struggle to go through that and to know what I've learned and what I've worked on. I don't get to choose all of the results that happen, that's not my decision. And to be present with her for a week in the hospital as she basically chose to leave. And the realization that's come out of it, there's lots of things I want to write about all of this, because you know, when you're open and not closed to the things that are happening, it's amazing the things that reveal themselves. And it's amazing, like the Buddha said, the depths of your sorrow is the heights of your joy. And to let that happen, to let that sorrow come in that way, like, I don't know if anybody else has ever experienced sorrow like a mother does, because there's such a close relationship with your child. And so to experience that with such an interesting place, and then to watch my 3 grandchildren now on Mother's Day be reminded that their mother's not here with them. But we're really close, and so, you know, we share that together. So it's been an ongoing experience. But I'm also reminded of one of the things that at my daughter's service, my other daughter, my granddaughter, and my sister and I all sang the song by Paul McCartney, Let It Be. When I find myself in times of sorrow, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of comfort, let it be. And, you know, I learned a little bit about that song. Paul McCartney's mother had died when he was 14. And that song was not about Mother Mary, that was about his mother, Mary. My mother is also Mary. And he was sharing that she came to him in a dream, and she told him, let it be, it's good, it's all good. And that's what he wrote that song about. So, and now Nicholas plays that song, he has a recording of it, he plays it over and over again and talks about his sister. And so, you know, love is one of those ongoing expressions. It has its pain, it has its joy, and it's worth every bit of it. And to be a mother is a wonderful experience that I would never give up. And to have Nicholas in my life, the depths of that experience I would have never known I was going to experience. And so that has just been a joy as well. So I want to just take a few minutes now and just kind of get quiet and just think about the mothers in your life, whether they were biological, emotional, or however they came to be part of your life. I've already shared Mother's Day cards with people that have been part of my life also. And think about where you've come from. I am the daughter of Mary, the granddaughter of Alberta, Owen, the great-granddaughter of Beulah Duncan. And if you have names of the lineage you've come through, the women that have made it possible for you to physically be here. Speak their name out loud right now. And all these women who have come from places around the world, and perfect, imperfect, or perfectly imperfect, have allowed us to have this experience here. They've given of themselves in more than one way. So we just think about the love that comes through, that mothering relationships, all the different relationships of mothers. And this is an expression of the love of God. And just take a moment and let that just wrap around you and feel the soft shoulder that you can lean on. And know that you are loved, cared for, valued, and guided each and every day in the highest and most life-giving way. It's an honor to be a mother, and I'm so grateful. And now if you just let that release for you and take a breath in, I'm going to turn this back over to Pat, and I'm going to bring a rose to everyone who has been connected with a mother in this room. Thank you.
How beautiful. Thank you so very much for that very moving and heartfelt sharing of your journey into motherhood. We can all appreciate our own mothers and our lineage of mothers. As you smell the beautiful rose, remember your mother and her mothers. All who have wanted for us only to be happy, to be healthy, to enjoy life. So thank you, Terry, for moving us in the way that words come through you and the energy of love that comes through you. And I might just rub my cheek on that beautiful sweater of yours, too. Know that we love you, we bless you, and we truly appreciate you just the way you are. And we behold the Christ in you. Please note that there will not be a Zoom garden today after the service. We apologize. We know that you will be back again to share your gifts and talents, and you are a blessing to us. We are so grateful. I can add this beautiful rose to the dozen roses my husband gave me today. But the wonderful part was to get a phone call from my daughter this morning before I came here, and she said, "Thank you for being my angel mom." Oh, so even though I can't see her today because she lives in California, I also appreciate the honor of being a mother. So please recite with me the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, as forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Celebration song. We are born from love. If we remember that, live from love every day. So now is the time for us to move forward in our love and gratitude by sharing gifts of tithes and offerings. We thank you in advance for that which comes through you. If you're making a love offering from home, please send your gift by mail to 2917 East Myrtle Street, Port Angeles, Washington, or go to our website at www.unityintheolympics.org and click on the yellow donate button to tithe by credit card or PayPal. So, holding in our hands or in our hearts, let us bless our gifts as we move them forward together into the oneness. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love. so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
We are so grateful. We are so blessed. We're blessed with these trials that we're getting now. We absolutely know that this will help our church, help our community, help our world. We give, we receive, and we affirm. Bless these prayers in this prayer house. And we know that when they were written, there was a solution. And we know that anything that our concerns, any heaviness in our heart, anything that we bring to God, is here with us. And so we say thank you. Thank you, sweet Spirit. Thank you for these blessings.
So blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. We are indeed so grateful and so blessed. Try listening to that song every morning when you wake up. It really sets your day into a beautiful path. So now join me in our closing circle. So let's get up and see how big our circle is. We gather with our arms open, sending out to our neighbors in the universe our love, our special divine feminine love today. And as we do so, think of what you want to share as a prayer or a blessing that we want to hold in prayer together.